Hello, welcome back, and as always, I hope you're doing well. Right, a couple of months ago, guys, a subscriber to the channel and a friend, I like to say, David Baker, asked me if I wanted a copy of the Game of Death Integral. Well, I'd actually never heard of it. Some Bruce Lee fan, I know. Well, David kindly sent me a Blu-ray copy of it. It's DVD quality, but it's pretty good. Now, obviously, over the years, since Warrior's Journey, I do believe, we've had the Art Port 1 and 2. We've had Alan Canvan's Game of Death Redux that featured on the Criterion box set. And, of course, Arrow's Amazing, the final Game of Death. But the Game of Death Integral cut. Now, this is a 127-minute version, as opposed to the 78 version of Game of Death, which was only 103 minutes. So that's an extra 24 minutes put into this film. Quite amazing, really quite amazing. And even though I'm not a massive fan of the 78 version, this makes an interesting addition to the Bruce Lee collection that I'm slowly building. So, what are the differences, right? So I thought I'd go through some of them with you, just so you know. And then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions at the end of it. First off, right at the beginning, the opening theme, normally done by John Barry, is replaced by an updated version, which was created for the Japanese Bruce Lee God, you know, the art port, by Tomohiro Endo. And the actual track is The Floor of the Unknown. That's quite an interesting start straight away. Then the infamous cardboard face from the big boss stuck when Billy Lowe is confronted in his trailer by Steiner. Well, that's changed. Now it's got a close-up of Bruce Lee's face from Fist of Fury, where he's listening in on both the cooks that poisoned his teacher. So I thought that was quite interesting. This also includes the greenhouse fight that was filmed for the 78 version, you know, between Kim Tai-chung and Casanova Wong. But the difference being, rather than it just being placed in there, there's a whole scene where Billy Lowe is training on his balcony and he hears noises. That is actually from The Way of the Dragon, you know, where he's out spreading his lats and his back, and then he goes in and he's smelling while Nora Mal cooks him some food. And then that cuts to Bruce leaving the apartment, going over, fighting Casanova Wong, and then coming back. And you know the bit where Changlung, let's call him Changlung, Bruce Lee, in The Way of the Dragon, is trying to, when Nora Mal gets kidnapped, you see Bruce Lee trying to phone, but he can't, he's got the bit of paper. Well, the phone rings as he comes back and he's got the dart out. You hear a phone ringing, and as he picks up the phone, it's Dr. Land, and he's saying, "You bastard." But obviously it's from when he was feeding the fish and he was calling them "you beautiful bastard." And it actually has a note on the side saying, "Have you two made out your wills?" Interesting, they actually added that bit in there. The whole scene with James Chen and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or Charlie Wang and Hakim, that is pretty much the whole fight between James and Kareem. That is all in there. Another bit that was changed quite a lot, obviously in the 78 version, you get Bruce Lee's body in his coffin, which most of us Bruce Lee fans find it kind of disgusting and disgraceful and really bad taste. Well, this has changed now. You don't see that. What you see is the crowd outside again, but it's sort of flipped. So I actually prefer that. I didn't have a problem with seeing the crowd outside. I just had a real bad problem with seeing Bruce Lee's body in the casket. Also on here, all of the Chris Kent battle cries, war cries, you know, Bruce Lee's. Well, they're replaced throughout this whole film with clips of Bruce Lee's war cries from his other movies, which I thought was quite good. And it isn't overused. because sometimes they overdo it and it just spoils it. And in the original 1978 version, you know, the last 3 fights where Bruce Lee is fighting Dan Inosanto, Jihan Jay and Kareem, well, in the 78 version, only about 10 minutes was actually used, which is kind of disgusting when you think of it. Well, in this version, it actually uses 25 minutes of that footage, so you get pretty much most of it, which is fantastic. Also, the film's ending is kind of different. You've got the Hong Kong ending, where after Dr. Lan falls to his death, you see the police turn up, the Hong Kong version. Well, it's kind of intercut with Bruce Lee's original footage where he's walking down the stairs, supposedly at the Red Pepper restaurant. And you know the bit where Bruce Lee breaks a window and he's shouting outside? Well, he actually shouts to the cops, help. And one of the cops shouts back up to him, hurry down. And obviously the scene ends with Billy Lowe being taken away by the police. And then it slowly goes into, it's a track motion shot. And I've seen it in a documentary, and I was trying to figure out where, maybe one of you might be able to let me know, where the yellow tracksuit is draped over a chair, the trainers are on the floor, and it's like in a recording studio. I know it's in one documentary, and I have seen it before. And that is overdubbed with a part out of, I think it's out of Bruce Lee's book, The Tao of Jeet Kune Do. And he's talking about the void. And that was actually taken, it's right at the end of Bruce Lee the Legend, just before the titles start going on. The film also ends with a load of outtakes and bloopers taken from Bruce Lee's original footage. I know now we've got the final game of death, we've seen it all pretty much, but it was still kind of cool to have on this version. And that's kind of it. It's pretty amazing, to be honest with you. I'm really glad to have it. Obviously, before David emailed me, I didn't even have a clue this thing existed. Also, he put on here, just for a little cherries on top, he put all 4 episodes of Longstreet, a episode of Here Comes the Brides, Marriage Chinese Style, that features Bruce Lee, as well as a high-definition copy of Marlowe is also on this Blu-ray, and a couple of other little sweet cherries as well. So, David, thank you very much indeed, mate. And obviously, David just sent me the Blu-ray case and the disc, and I, myself, made the cover art. And as you can see on there, I've got the latch spread from Way of the Dragon, because it's actually in this version. Now, have any of you guys seen the Game of Death Integral Cut? Is this available to download anywhere? If anyone knows, please send me a link or let me know in the comments below. And do any of you guys know when this was put together? It's great. It's great fun, and it's, like I said, like Redux, like Artport. It's another oddity put together, but it's actually had a lot of work put into it, and it's kind of novel, and I quite enjoy having it, and it's going to look lovely on the shelf now. Will it ever get an official release? I doubt it. I really doubt it. But a very interesting oddity, and I am actually glad to have it. Right, before I go, thank you all. I'm going to hopefully do a comments video for Saturday, but where I've not put out content for the last 3 weeks, it's kind of slim pickings, so we'll see. I mean, I'm really mega busy the weekend, but hopefully I might be able to do a short one. You never know. Thanks to everyone who bought me a coffee recently, and of course my amazing patrons. You guys are amazing. And I will be putting up the reaction to the Kentucky Fried movie real soon. I just need to edit a few bits, and I've just been so busy, and I wanted to do this for the channel, but I will get it out to you real soon. Right, with that, have yourselves an amazing week, guys. Let me know what you think of this, if you've seen it. Let me know if you know when it was made. And yeah, and thank you very much again, David. You're a superstar. Thanks, pal. Right, have yourselves an amazing week, guys. Much love. And I'll be back with another ramble real soon. You take care now.